r/AskReddit, what is a genetics fact that not a lot of people know? It also makes you proficient with medium armor and smith's tools. Potatoes have more chromosomes than humans. That makes sense, most potatoes I know have no humans. Amoebas have a bigger genome than humans, and by like 100 times bigger. That explains all the extra I's. The first CRISPR-Cas treatment for sickle cell has just been approved by the FDA. I work in this field in a capacity that I get to talk to all the companies that are up and coming. There is a tsunami of mRNA-based gene editing treatments on the horizon. Way more than anyone not plugged into the VC/stealth mode ecosystem suspects. We will look back on 2023 as the year that medicine changed forever. Twins can have different fathers. Superfecundation. Very rare in humans but not crazy rare. There's this thing called a CHU syndrome where it's estimated that 18 to 35% of people on Earth have a reflex that induces sneezing due to bright light. Cheetahs are extremely inbred. They had a massive bottleneck about 10,000 years ago and had too little diversity to fully recover. Used to tell my mom the sun makes me sneeze when I was a kid. Still happens in my 30s. My wife has this. She'll get her face all scrunched up trying to sneeze, and then bolt to the closest window to look at the sun, and she'll sneeze. Wow, I thought everyone had this. Transposons exist. Some DNA fragments can get cut out of the genome and be inserted in a different part. This can be used in knockout screening. If you introduce a transposon to a bacterium and it grows no colonies, the transposon has inserted itself in a gene that was likely crucial for the bacterium's survival. Twins can be half identical. Like same egg split but two different sperms, so they share about 75% genetic similarities compared to 100% in identical twins and 50% in fraternal twins/siblings. They can even be boy and girl twins. Yes. I made this comment on someone else's in this thread. I have a friend who is half identical with her sister. The genes that determine the size of your penis are on the X chromosome, so you inherited that from your mom. Checks out, my mother's cock is massive. Thanks for swinging pipe, Mom. Your immune system regulation genes, HLA, have a huge impact on how you smell. Similar thing happened to Tasmanian devils. Genetically, they are so similar that the cancer that grows on their necks and faces is contagious. They scratch themselves and transmit the cancer cells to other devils during fights. The cancer does not have to do a lot of adjusting. Please elaborate. Birthing identical twins is not an inherited trait. It's random. Fraternal twinning is inherited, but only from mother to daughter. My mill took credit for me having identical twins because she had fraternal twin siblings. When I explained that genetics proved her wrong, she was not having it. Right. Learned this when my daughter was pregnant with identical twins. My dad was a fraternal twin. It seems fraternal twins running in families happens because the females in that family release more than one egg during ovulation, so obviously creating a higher chance of fraternal twins. Since our mitochondria used to be separate single-celled organisms, they have their own DNA. And is through your mother the DNA is transferred as the sperm. Mitochondrial DNA is virtually nothing compared to your mom's egg mitochondria. And there are viruses that infect mitochondria, and are likely descended from the viruses that infected those single-cell organisms that were once free-living. They're called mitoviruses. Your hair shape changes with hormones. As in the shape of the hair shaft. I always hear about women experiencing texture changes while pregnant, menopausal, etc. Color too. 40 to 50% of our DNA is the same as cabbage. Some genetic diseases persist because having one copy of the disease-causing version of that gene can have benefits, so even though having two copies is deadly, that copy of the gene doesn't go away in the population. For some people it's significantly higher. Depression can be genetic. Thanks to chimerism, it's possible for a woman to bear children to which she is technically their aunt, not their mother. Chimerism can also mean that your left shoulder is male and your right female, and this can go entirely unknown until genetic tests are done. I think they know but disregard it. But just because you date an above average height person doesn't mean your children will match or exceed the height of the taller person, especially if you're very short. On average, you will be somewhere between your mother's height and your father's height, with girls being a few inches under that in-between spot and boys being a few inches over that. Two brown-eyed parents can have a blue-eyed child. This is very true. Or in my case, brown plus green eyes can have two blue-eyed kids. But interestingly, so is the reverse, which is far more complex. Both my parents are brown-eyed, all three children are blue-eyed. Key example, sickle cell anemia. Carriers get the benefit of malaria resistance without the health drawbacks. Having 5 fingers in each hand is a recessive gene. Polydactyly, having 6 fingers on each hand, is a dominant gene. Polydactyly as an isolated trait is dominant. However, it is also seen as part of several recessive conditions, as well as chromosomal conditions. Red hair and blue eyes is the rarest hair/eye color combination. People with red hair require more anesthesia than brown or blonde-haired people. I don't know why though. But red eyes and blue hair might be even more rare. 1 in 40 Ashkenazi Jewish women has a BRCA gene mutation. Mutations in BRCA genes raise a person's risk for getting breast cancer at a young age, and also for getting ovarian and other cancers. That is why Ashkenazi Jewish women are at higher risk for breast cancer at a young age. Identical twins kids aren't cousins to each other, but siblings. I have 2 aunts who are identical twins, and they married 2 brothers who are identical twins. They lived in a duplex when we were growing up, and their kids were basically all raised as siblings. One set had 8 kids, the other had 10, so genetically there were 18 full siblings living under that roof. I still can't tell which kid belongs to which aunt/uncle. Super rare, but there's a condition called superfetation where twins in the womb have different gestation dates. Basically, the woman got pregnant, then a few weeks later she got pregnant again. During fertilization, the entire haploid genome of the ovum can be lost. The haploid genome of the sperm then duplicates, resulting in a, almost, purely paternal diploid conception. This results in a hydatidiform mole, hydropic grape-like placenta without fetal parts. There's a genetic disease called Laron syndrome that makes you shorter in stature, a longer life expectancy, and near immunity to cancer and diabetes. 1 in 1,000 babies will be born with balanced chromosomal translocation. Women who carry it or partners of men carrying it will typically have more frequent miscarriages. My Mill had 5 or 6 miscarriages because my Phil carries balanced chromosomal translocation. 2 of their kids inherited it, the third has normal chromosomes. Balanced chromosomal translocation means that 2 chromosomes switched a part of their chromosome but it was an even exchange. For the people who inherit it, it means they could get pregnant or impregnate their partner with a baby with unbalanced chromosomal translocation. Those babies usually miscarry. Get tested for hereditary high cholesterol, familial hypercholesterolemia. It's a comparatively common genetic disorder. It shows next to no symptoms but can clog your arteries and kill you, no matter how healthy your diet and lifestyle. It rarely skips a generation. The treatment is usually a medication called statins. The green-eyed gene is a recessive gene when compared to brown-eyed gene. It is dominant when compared to blue-eyed gene. It's really unfortunate that there are so many people out there that think that it's the mother's fault for not bearing sons. No, Greg, she isn't broken. You're just blasting X's instead of Y's. Tell that to Henry VIII. Shorter stature, longer life, and high resistance. I know a D&D dwarf when I see one. Interesting. Sounds like it could be evolutionary advantageous. / looks into symptoms / characterized by micropenis. Nah, I'm good. Yeah, well, if you read about the complete picture, you'll realize it comes with more cons than pros. Hello everyone. Thanks for sticking to the end of this video. I really appreciate it. I just wanted to humbly ask you to subscribe to the channel. According to my statistics, 100% of my viewers in the past 28 days are not subscribed. I have always wanted this channel to reach 1,000 subscribers, and if you want to support and be a part of that, subscribe. It's free and it's an awesome way to support the channel. Thanks again, Reddit glitch out.